going well. It's first time using OBS again for myself, so everything's performing as well
Look
as
at
I
that.
want. All right, you
Got
ready?
dusted off, eh? Yeah, hold on.
Oh, by the way, did you watch football today?
Um, Not really, no. I got the
Oh,
highlights from Victoria, but
I was watching it a little bit today before I met up with you at the
49ers?
dog park. Yeah, they won. I'm pretty happy about that, to be honest. I was
Dude,
like,
they were due for a win.
yeah. Well, I mean, they won a game last week. I was just like,
Yeah, but that was
man,
against what? Buffalo?
no, not Buffalo. It was Jaguars.
Ja
The
Jaguar. Oh, you're right. It was Jaguars.
Victoria's team.
But come on, let's be honest. It's the Jaguars. Like,
That is true, but they've been doing well. They had like 5 wins in this, like a 5 win
surprisingly.
streak. But yeah, I was like, oh man, like if we lose against the Jags, it's all
I
over.
mean,
That was my thought. And then they
yeah.
won.
It's
Yeah,
all
they
ogre now.
they won, and then they won today, which I was pretty happy about, just because,
Mhm.
um, with football, it's all about matchups. So I was really worried about it for a bit. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, man, we're like, what if we lose this game after winning a game last week?
It's a good thing they didn't.
Yeah. All right. Let me get ready. Mental preparation.
Yeah, get in.
Ha-
Get rid of the bullshit.
That's not bullshit. It's introductions.
Well, you got. I'm just saying, you have to go off the top of your head because
Oh
you don't
yeah,
have any
true.
notes.
True. I mean, even then, I normally went off the top of my head when it came to intros.
Yeah, well, that's true. It's the intros.
Yeah. All right. What is up,
All right.
everybody? We are back for another review. Welcome to B-roll thoughts.
Yes,
I'm David.
welcome.
That's Alex. We're
I'm
here
Alex.
today to review the Marvels. To be honest, we were both kind of forgetful about this movie, not intentionally. It's just like we both kind of forgot it was coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was coming out. I just forgot it already came out, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay, we should do that.
Yeah. So we were kind of late on this review, but I mean, if you end up coming across us while the movie's still in theaters or it's already out on digital, like, hey, welcome. You
It's
know,
probably gonna be already out in digital.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Based on our
Uh,
speed, we'll see, because it does take us time
oh,
sometimes to get things up on podcast form or on like YouTube. But
yes, time.
yeah, we're gonna review the Marvels. For those that don't know the synopsis for the movie, which thankfully I pulled up because I ended up not making any notes for this film today. I kind of had a busy weekend. Alex
Busy,
did.
eh?
Alex has notes though, so after this we'll go over what he wants to talk about.
Oh, how the turn have tables.
Yes, how the turns have tabled.
Hmm.
Uh, all right. So the synopsis for the Marvels is Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, has reclaimed her identity from the tyrannical Kree and taking revenge on the Supreme Intelligence. However, unintended consequences see her shouldering the burden of a destabilized universe. When her duties send her to an anomalous wormhole linked to a Kree revolutionary, her powers become entangled with two other superheroes to form the Marvels.
The Marvels. Good work on the word anomalous.
Yeah, no, that I was not expecting to see that word.
Right? I was like, oh, yeah, that's a trippy one.
Yeah, I was like anomalous. I had to allow to
Right?
process that really quick.
Uh, Honestly, yeah, you could just said wormhole, but whatever. So,
Yeah.
David, when did you see the movie?
So I actually saw the movie the weekend it came out, but that was because it was also Claire's birthday. So we saw it on
Oh, wow.
Friday. Um, the opening release. We saw it on Friday. But
Nice.
that was kind of like a last minute decision.
Yeah.
So we saw it there at like at the Grove.
Hmm.
I think I'd like to say around 7:30 or 8:30 for showtime. Yeah. So
Nice.
I think you saw it after me though, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw like literally a week after.
Yeah. So I saw it a little bit before you, but
Mhm.
Yeah, like when we showed up at the theater, it was pretty packed then. Like we didn't even watch Dolby Atmos, which I love Dolby Atmos. But yeah,
I didn't watch Dolby Atmos
we
either.
didn't get to see it in Dolby Atmos. We saw it in I think IMAX, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
Yeah. What about you?
I saw it in real 3D because I'm in Salt Lake City and the AMC here does not have a Dolby Atmos nor IMAX.
Oh, that
So it's
sucks.
either real 3D or standard.
That
And I was
sucks.
like, I don't want to do standard.
I would have done
And
standard,
also,
honestly.
well, so the standard was a later time. Real
uh,
3D was like 3 p.m. And I'm like, I'd rather just do the earlier showing.
mm.
But honestly, the watching that movie in 3D was really nice.
I mean, I can see that. Yeah, like with the effects and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Was not expecting it to be that good. I was just going in there and be like, okay, I'll just put these on because I wear regular glasses, so I just have to put the 3D glasses over them. But overall, it was a great experience.
Mm. Yeah. Um, trying to think. We saw it because we saw it with a couple friends.
Hmm.
Like the movie was fun. There was like things that popped out to me, but other things that I guess we might get into if you don't mention it. But if we don't mention it, I'm gonna mention it. There were some things that did kind
If you
of.
remember,
There were things that kind of bothered me a little. Not bothered, but I guess either annoyed me or I just felt like wasn't believable.
well, I mean, what do you mean believable? It's like
Like
it's a superhero movie.
no, we'll get into it if you
Well,
mention it. If you
yeah,
don't
okay.
mention it, I'll talk about it. So,
If I mention it,
what do you have on your first notes, Alex?
okay. So for the non-spoiler section, I so I really like the fight scenes in the movie.
Mm.
I mean, how'd you like the fight scenes? I thought they were great, and they really got me captivated.
I thought the fight scenes were great when it had the Marvels as like a unit or even like one character or the other. I thought it was fun. But
Right?
I do feel like the villain was a bit weak for me. Like
Granted, the villain was weak,
when
but
cause she has like that
yeah,
hammer from what's that one character, the Destroyer or something? I forgot his name. He was from the first Marvel
Guardians of the
movie.
Galaxy.
Yeah, for first Guardians movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they have his hammer, and every time she swings it, she just looked really clunky to me. Like she looked
I
really
mean, it's a
uncoordinated.
large hammer.
Huh?
It's a large hammer.
True, but she just looked so uncoordinated to me that I was like, you could tell she like her face to me looked confused, like lifting that hammer, trying to swing it
Yeah,
around.
and I guess that's the reason she didn't really use it as much.
Yeah, so for me, like the action was great when it came to the heroes itself. The villain, the action with her, I was like, but
Sure, but at least the backstory for the villain I thought was a little bit unique and not
yes,
so much as the cookie cutter, superhero villain
her
backstory.
backstory was unique, but in my opinion, her character herself was a bit of a cookie cutter. Like the way she
Well, I
was
mean,
portrayed, I felt was a bit cookie cutter.
sure, yeah, but it's like,
Like, British talking with like a low voice. And it's like, you
oh,
know,
what? What? How much James Bond movies have you been watching?
not that many, honestly. It was just her
It's
voice.
like
It's like
just the low
to me,
British tone.
it just seems so generic of a thing to do with a villain.
That with a British accent.
With like trying to with the not the British accent particularly, but it's like with that low like, and then kind of speaking at like this kind of slow pace.
Well, I mean, she's you know, I don't know.
The Annihilator, like you know.
Okay. Well, and she's got a lot of trauma going on,
She
so
does, but it's just the way her character, like her portrayal throughout the movie, I felt was a bit generic. And I don't fault
sure.
the actress for that. I do think it's more so the writing.
Yeah. I mean, that is kind of hard. And then it's also dependent on the director.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, that was like I guess that's one of the things I wanted to talk about was the
Yeah.
villain. I
Okay.
felt was a bit weak, at least for me. Claire and I both agreed
Sure.
that she felt a bit cookie cutter in that sense.
Okay. Yeah. 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 More as a her just like personality.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, her
So I thought
personality.
the what?
Yeah, her personality.
Yeah. Which yeah, I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
Okay. But overall, the story I thought was pretty great. Just with like you get to see different worlds and more of the universe
I
and more
yeah.
of Carol Danvers, experience. And it's great because she created the villain. She thought she
So
was doing good, but it's
uh,
just like her consequences just added up.
yeah, so I thought when it came to the story itself, I thought the world building was nice,
Mhm.
but at least for me, I did feel that the plot itself was a little weak, especially
Like it's
like
weak sauce.
yeah, especially like with Carol Danvers, like the reason why she's kind of like we'll obviously we'll get into it when we go into the spoilers. But her
Yeah,
trauma,
we're just scratching the
like
surface.
her trauma, was really fixed, kind of quick at the end. You know, like how she fixes
Well,
everything at
hey,
the end was really
it's
fast.
only
Like
an hour and 40-minute movie. You
no, but
gotta
the
speed
thing,
it up
like the way
somehow.
she fixes it, it's like you didn't think about trying this before. Like you never thought about just doing that. Like if you could have done
Wow.
this whole time, you could have done it from the beginning. You know,
Okay, well maybe she didn't realize it.
you know what I mean? Like you had to be told by a scientist. Like you're literally in space with other species that are way smarter than Earth. Like no one told you. Like you could do this.
Well, I mean, granted, she probably didn't tell everyone she met out in space. And it's like she probably thought she would die. And it wouldn't even work.
Oh, the way she reacted to it told me more like she thought it wouldn't work in general.
Oh yeah. I don't know, man.
But yeah, again, that's just me and Claire technically. But yes, me.
As a unit.
But yeah, that is
Cool.
kind of. I mean, I liked the heroes. I like Captain
Mhm.
Marvel. You know, Brie Larson did well.
Yeah,
I
she did.
liked what's the name of the Captain Wrath? What's her name? It's
Captain.
the girl that has the power to like see light and she can.
Oh yeah.
I forgot her character's name.
I know it's fine.
You want to look it up really quick?
Yeah, I can look it up.
Let me, because I have it up still technically.
IMDb.
Let's see. I forgot her character's name.
Monica Rambeau.
Oh
Rambeau.
yeah, I was gonna say Rathbone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Monica Rambeau. I
Right.
thought her character was great. I
Yeah.
liked her character's dynamic. I was a little annoyed with Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, just
Yeah,
because
she was a bit too fangirling quite
yes,
often.
and also a lot of like this isn't a spoiler, but a lot of the time, like if you ask me what do you remember about Kamala Khan, like Miss Marvel from the Marvels, I will tell you. Oh my god! 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 Like that's the only thing that comes to mind, and it was really annoying because like they put it
Yeah, she's
like
saying that often.
she said that like pretty much throughout the whole movie, and
Hmm.
at least for me it didn't really it felt tiring after a while seeing her react that way. You know,
David has no patience.
I was like you gotta do something different. Like you can't just
It
keep
is like it's too late for this.
yeah, especially because like like we already saw her origins in the Miss Marvel TV show.
Yeah.
So I felt like if you did one oh my god, oh my god, oh my god thing, like that would have been fine. One or two would have been fine, but it just felt like she reacted that way with everything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair. She did. It was yeah. I didn't really find it too annoying, but yeah.
that's just me though. I
No,
felt it. I
yeah,
felt
yeah,
like it
totally
was
get it.
over. I felt like it was overdone.
It was, yeah. And yeah, one or two would have been okay,
Yeah,
been perfect.
yeah. So, like, that I mean, again, that's just more so me.
Yeah, I guess they just really wanted your character just to fangirl out every time.
Yeah,
Because I mean, her room just like screams.
yeah.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
Like her screams are either "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god," or like "Oh my god." That was literally all
Oh
her.
yeah, that like scream cry.
Yeah, it's like all her screams, and so for me, it just felt a bit overdone.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
You got any other gripes?
No gripes other than that, but
Other than that, you're like, that's
I mean,
just
I
the
did again.
one.
I like the world building. I like the
Brooklyn
introductions
was great.
of those other planets. Like, not a spoiler, I don't think, but there's that one planet that, like, because I'm just mentioning it. There's that one planet where all their language is just singing.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting, but like that was fun, right?
That was fun. Yeah,
That was a
everyone was
fun
like
little thing.
dancing too in sync.
I like Kamala's family. Her family seems chill. Like they're fun.
I mean, honestly, I understand the mom. I
Yeah,
thought she was a little bit annoying, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, okay,
yeah,
that's what a mom would do.
yeah. Like that. And I thought she was fun. I enjoyed her
Mm.
mom. Her dad was like, nice. Her brother was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
um, yeah, that's all I can think about right now off the top. Did you have anything else
Yeah.
in your notes for the non spoiler?
Yes, I have one more thing. I
Okay.
thought the music was pretty good,
Oh yeah, music was good.
especially coupling it with the fight scenes. I was like, ooh, this
Yeah,
goes hard.
yeah, music was good. Yeah, overall, I like I felt I think I enjoyed the movie, but I felt like overall it was just okay for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Like if you were already thinking about watching the Marvels, go ahead, go watch it. That's how I feel. But if you weren't planning on watching or you just weren't interested based on the trailers, I don't think the movie is gonna change it.
No, it's not really. It doesn't really intertwine with the main story arc too much.
Yeah, I mean the ending was interesting, especially the
Yeah, the after credit scene,
yeah after
yeah,
credit scene. Yeah, but other than that, like I don't know if it's worth sitting throughout that rest of the movie just to see the after credit scene.
yeah. You could just get like the highlights
Yeah,
or the cliff notes from someone, and you'd be okay.
yeah.
Because there
Um,
wasn't too much Easter eggs in there, anyways.
True. There weren't that many.
Not
Um,
many that really stood out.
yeah,
So, shall we rate the movie?
yeah. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. So, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because it was fun and I enjoyed it, and the 3D experience was really good, better than I thought. And yeah, I would see it again in 3D.
Oh, damn. Making me think maybe I
I
should try
know.
seeing it now in 4D or something.
Yeah,
I watched because
man.
I
Go
watched
to Disneyland.
I watched Doctor Strange in 4D, like
How
the
was
second
that?
one. It was interesting, like especially
Wait,
with
4D?
yeah. So like the chairs moved,
Oh,
so like that was
that's
interesting.
fun.
Like when he
Yeah.
jumps through portals and whatnot, like you felt the chair like
Mhm.
like kind of tilt back and forth and tilt forward and everything. So
That'd be
if
kind of
anything,
fun in
I'd
this
watch it
movie.
in that. Um, I guess for me, I'd probably give the movie a 6.5 or a 7. I'm kind of
Hey,
leaning.
okay.
I'm kind of like in that middle, in the middle of it all. Like I felt
Sure.
the action was fun. Some of the characters annoyed me a little bit, and I just felt
Yeah,
like,
okay, yeah, Kamal, we know.
well, also like I just
And
felt
the
like it
main
was,
villain.
yeah, the main villain. It just felt a bit cookie cutter ish for me. Um, Trying to think right now, like I think that's really all there is as far as I can remember off the top. But yeah,
Mhm.
probably 6.5 or a 7. Would I watch it again? I feel like it'd have to be in like a new experience, like a 4D or a Dolby Atmos.
4D.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're like, that IMAX experience just doesn't hit right.
No, it's not even that. It's just there has to be a reason to get me to go back. right now, like,
Sure.
is just, like I
Why
felt
see
like,
it over again when you
yeah,
know what experience you're gonna get?
yeah,
That's fair.
yeah, um, yeah. Uh, I guess if you're listening to us through podcast form or if you're watching us through YouTube, we're gonna go quickly into the spoilers right now. So if you haven't seen
Yes.
the movie, you probably should either hop off the video on YouTube or you should hop off us on the podcast form, go watch the
On
movie,
the
and then
audio?
come back.
Yeah. Yes, this is our spoiler alert.
Yeah, so I guess going into spoilers, essentially the whole plot of the movie, um, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and Monica Rambeau get entangled with their powers because of some. It's like my understanding is like some kind of like jump portal thing. Like Monica
Yeah,
Rambeau
it's
interacts with it, and Captain Marvel interacts with it, but somehow it unlocks Miss Marvel's um, what's it called? What does she call it on her wrist? The bracelet thing.
bingo?
Yeah, the bangle.
Bingo. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Somehow it
Getting good.
activates her bangle, which I'm still trying to
Mhm.
understand how that happened because the villain didn't do anything with her own bangle. Because the villain basically finds a bangle in space where you find out like, oh, this is an alien technology thing, and there was
Mhm.
supposed to be two, which obviously Captain Marvel has, right? Or not Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel has.
Miss Marvel, yeah.
Yeah,
She
Kamala
has the
Khan
other
has
one
it.
from her
Yeah,
grandma.
yeah. So I'm still trying to understand how that like activated the bangle because I don't
I
think they
think
really explained it, right?
I always thought that she opened the jump the wormhole with the bingo, with one bingo.
Oh yeah, because she hit it with her hammer or something,
Yeah,
right?
she hit you
Oh
with the
yeah, yeah,
hammer.
yeah. Again, it's been some time since I've seen the movie.
That's a good thing I saw it Friday.
Yeah, so she. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it basically entangles them with their powers. So if they're my understanding, based on how they explained it, was like if they're both using, if two people are using their powers at the same time, it switches them.
Yeah, if two or all three of them using their powers, they switch places,
Yeah,
no matter where they are in the universe.
which is quite confusing because there was like a moment where two of them were using powers next to each other at the same time and nothing happened. So I was like, when does when what actually
Oh
activates
yeah,
it to
I know,
switch?
right?
You know, what actually activates this? Um,
Plot hole.
and basically the villain herself, played by let me look her up really quick. Zawe
It's like
Ashton. Her character is Dar Ben. You know, quick fun fact.
fun
Zawe
fact.
Ashton is, I believe, she's either engaged or she's married to Tom Hiddleston.
What?
Yeah. So, and I think they have a kid now too.
Wow, they're both villains. What?
Yeah, they have kids now too. They have a kid.
What?
Yeah. Um,
Dang.
but yeah, basically, Dar Ben's character wants revenge against
Mhm.
Captain Marvel because uh she was part of the Kree Empire, and they kind of go back to the first Captain Marvel movie where she flies back and she basically destroys like the the computer that was controlling the people.
Yeah, they're calling it AI.
Yeah, the AI that was controlling the people, thinking that it would save them, but in the end, it somehow like screws them over because somehow they lost all their water on the planet, and then they
Yep.
also lost
And the atmosphere.
the sun. Yeah, the atmosphere too.
Yeah. Which I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, so basically, Darben's goal is to get steal resources from the civilizations or like the people that matter most to Captain Marvel, right? That
Yep.
basically the
But
plot.
I mean, at least she did it in a way where she was going to try to negotiate with
True.
the inhabitants of said planet.
Yeah.
But then, I was like, in the first when she was trying to do the first meeting, Captain Marvel did botch that one up.
Yeah. Um.
And I was like, well, okay.
But yeah, basically that is the plot. Like, you know.
Mhm.
What do you have on your notes, Alex, to talk
Yeah, I don't have that much,
about?
but I mean, just going off of what you're saying about Darbin, I don't know. I thought she wasn't. She's not bad. Just be bad. She's trying to save her planet, and I like the aspect of she's gathering resources from other planets, like getting the water was like, oh, she went to a planet that's like 90% water.
True.
I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Can we touching on that really quick? When she steals the water from that planet, like Captain Marvel, like the Marvels essentially like escape because they were
Yeah.
losing, and then they never touched on that planet again. It's like what happened?
No, we don't
Like,
know what happened.
did they lose all their water? Did they only have some of their water? Like what? Like because the planet
And are they
basically
going to get their water back?
the planet was basically a bunch of people like their language was singing, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah, they couldn't understand you if you did not sing to them.
yeah, so like I was like, what happened to them? You just kind of left them. They don't even mention them again. Like what happened to the prince? You know, like is the prince alive? Is he dead? Like what happened?
I would
Um,
assume he's alive.
yeah, they just never mentioned him. Like mentioned the people after that, and so I like after the movie, I was like, so what happened to them? That was me after I'm watching the movie. Um, also, I wanted to mention the prince in the movie,
Mhm.
like the guy that plays the prince. He's like a pretty popular like Korean actor and in
Yeah, I was
K
looking him
dramas and
up.
everything. I'll be honest, not to be mean, but
Oh,
some
you're
of
going to be mean.
it's just when he spoke, sometimes it was hard to understand what he was saying.
No, he's got an accent.
I know, but I kind of like a part of me wished they
He's
put some.
from Korea.
I know, but I kind of wish they did something to make like they at least maybe coached him a little bit better on how to pronounce certain words because at time like I think it was like kind of near the ending of all his scenes like there was moments where he would speak English and I was like I don't know what the fuck he just said.
I knew it. I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't have a gripe with it. I thought it was fine. I mean, he is
Not
only in
not
there for a short amount of time.
yeah no it's not I have a problem with it. It's just like that was something that I remember when he was on. I was like oh I know this guy like I've seen him in K dramas before, and then I was
Oh
like
yeah,
I was so curious to see how he was sounding speaking English, and so
yeah, and you're like, oh, I get it. You had a little higher hopes.
because the fact he's in a a Western produced film, I was kind of hoping
Mhm.
he would have had at least a bit of better coaching when it came to pronunciations, or like they had maybe shot it a couple times just to make sure he got it right. It felt like they shot it
Mhm.
once and just kind of went with it.
They're like one and done. We're good. We got it
Yeah.
all. I don't
Um.
know. I mean, I will say that prior to that, we see Tessa Thompson, as King Valkyrie,
Mhm.
which I was not expecting, because the first planet, the Kree people had to evacuate,
Is it the
and
Kree?
so no, well, wait, no, it's the other ones.
I'm trying to
I get
remember
them
what they're
mixed up.
called. Yeah, let me look it
I
up real
know.
quick. I forgot what they're called. Huh? The Kree? No, the Kree people are the villains, aren't they?
Yeah, they are the villains.
The Scroll.
Squirrel. Oh Jesus. Okay.
Claire was like looking at me. She was like, "Kree." I was like, "No,
The Kree.
I think the Kree are the villains." Yeah,
Yeah, no, they are
the scroll.
the scroll. All
Yeah,
right. Yeah, they had to evacuate, but they didn't have a place to go. So
yeah,
King Valkyrie came in and just like transported him back to what New Asgard is what we assume.
yeah. I'm assuming that too. Yeah, she.
Yeah,
I had a
but
feeling she was gonna be in the movie because I think she was in one of the trailers.
oh, was she?
Yeah.
I didn't see the trailer. That makes sense.
um. What else did you have anything else you wanted to mention?
Yeah, it's more talking about the ending to where so Kamala basically is trying to get like the Young Avengers together,
Yes,
and I'm like, oh boy, all right, the Young Avengers is actually officially happening now.
but also I don't think Kamala should be leading the Young Avengers. I don't think
Well,
I don't think she's the
what do you
right
think?
person to lead it.
Why not? Because she's eccentric.
A little bit, yeah. Oh my
So
god! Oh my
she's
god!
like,
Oh my god! Oh my god!
yeah. Well, I mean,
Oh my god!
I can see the reason they'll doing it. They're doing it
Yeah, I
because
can
it's
see
like the
it.
opposite of Nick Fury. Nick
Yeah,
Fury.
yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
though that was a
quick thing
surprise
I
to
wanted
me.
to mention.
Mhm.
So yeah, with the plot, I felt it was a bit. What's the word I'm trying to figure out? Like, because basically when Miss Marvel, destroyed destroyed the Kree like empire and everything,
Yeah.
and the planet was didn't have water or sunlight or anything. Monica Rambeau's like, why don't you power their sun with your abilities?
Hmm.
And then Miss like Captain Marvel's like, oh, I just never thought it would be possible. And then when she actually does it at the end of the movie, it's like kind of like quick. There's a sunlight and everything all over again. I'm like, so within the past 20 years since this happened,
Well,
you never thought about
y-
doing this?
you know, David, you make those little mistakes, you know, a problem, and you don't really see it, and then you go back to it, you're like, oh, that was so simple.
I just felt like
Why? Why did
that
it take me this long?
I just felt like they could have done something about the plot, like the plot device. Like it
Yeah,
could have been done a little better.
sure. I mean, that's fair. It could have.
Because it just felt like so instant at the end that she fixed everything. Like she gave them back their son. That's it. And then she flew off, and I was like, okay,
Happily ever after.
yeah. It just kind of just happened. So I think that was one thing that I was like, and then I do also. It's not a gripe, but at least for me, it just felt that them
Sounds like a
figuring
gripe.
out them figuring out like in tandem how to use their abilities together
Mhm.
was a bit rushed because they learned within
Hey
like a
man,
day.
it's only an hour and 40-minute movie.
You know what I mean? They learn within a day.
You gotta get that montage on.
They learn within a day to like, oh, when you and I use our power, like this is how it's gonna be done.
Mhm.
I I don't know. Part of me felt I wish they didn't do the whole like, oh, when we use our powers, we switch. Because if there was a lot of plot holes in there for me.
Sure, and I mean, it gets weird
Yeah,
like that.
I felt like they could have done something a little different just to bring the three of them together rather than like, oh, we use our powers, we switch places.
Right. I mean, I'll give them that, you know, just them switching places
Yeah.
is a really cool idea to me, and I like that aspect of it. It's new in a superhero movie,
Yeah, it's just
or at
for
least a
me.
recent one.
For me, it just felt like they were switching places out of convenience at times. Because again, sometimes you'd have two characters using their powers at the same time and nothing
Mhm.
happened, right? Like nothing. They didn't switch places with each other when like you can't say
Right.
like because they're in close proximity. Because when they were trying it out on the ship, they were switching places, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it just felt they were switching places out of convenience to me at the end of it all. Because it never really solidified like why you're switching places. Like you say you switch places when one person and the other person both use your powers at the same time.
I don't know, I'll have to rewatch it again.
But here we're seeing you guys use your powers at the same
I
time.
didn't catch that the first time
Yeah, because I was like, here you guys
because
using your powers at the same time and like nothing's happening. So who sets the rules of like when you guys switch? It really bothered me to be honest.
well, so I didn't see that, but I did notice that, you know, at times they would use their powers right after the other did.
I'm trying to because I think of like when Kamala is falling from the sky and Monica Rambeau has to try to save her
Yeah.
because they both end up trying to use their powers. Like Monica's trying to use her flying powers,
Uh-huh.
and Kamala is trying to use her like shape building powers at the same time, and they never switch. Or like when they're fighting on the water planet, they're all using their abilities. You know,
They did switch though.
like they switch at times, but other times when they're all using it at the same time, nothing happens.
I don't know, I'll have to rewatch it again.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. You can rewatch it, but that's what at least for me when I was watching it, that's what I noticed, and it kind of bothered me. I was like, what are these rules?
I'll watch it again when it's on Disney Plus.
There are no rules here that like that make sense. But yeah,
Yeah, that's a big gripe from David.
Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
Just the after credit scene.
Oh yeah, yeah, the after credit scene with. So
Yeah.
Monica Rambeau at the end basically because universe is breaking apart. Like universes are kind of they're like the wall between universes are breaking apart and they're kind of like forming together essentially, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
they needed to fix the hole in space time.
Yeah,
And
somebody
so
needed to mend it.
yeah, someone needed to mend
Otherwise,
it on the
like,
other
it'd just
side.
collapse into each other.
So Monica flies over to the other side of like of that hole to the other universe, whatever it is, and
Yeah, I don't know
closes it
why she
up.
had to fly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
Well, the thing is, I think what she did, she was in the middle
mm,
of the split
mm,
of the hole, of the rip,
yeah,
because we see her mend it, and then it's like, okay, she's not on our side,
yeah,
but then the after credits, she's in another universe.
yeah. So she basically closes it, and she passes out essentially. Well, like she
Yeah.
finishes closing out up the hole, and you find out like she wakes up and she sees her mom, like a young version
Mhm.
of her mom, right? And
Yep.
and so she's like super happy and everything, and out of nowhere in walks a tall blue character
Oh yeah.
who turns out to be Beast from the X-Men. Um and he basically
Voiced
tells her like
by Kelsey Grammer.
no, honestly, I caught that when it happened. Like I was sitting there, I was like, that sounds like Kelsey Grammer.
I know, right? I was like, no way.
Yeah,
Is that Kelsey Grammer?
I am happy that instead of just painting Kelsey Grammer blue and put him in like a blue muscle suit, they actually
I mean, I would
CGI.
have liked that. I don't know. I didn't like the CGI
I
Beast.
like the CGI just because it fit more within the comics. You know, because he's
I
like a
see it,
tall
but
character. He's big.
you can
He's
tell it's CGI, and I
yeah.
think I would have liked it better if you just like stuck blue paint and hair on Kelsey Grammer.
Maybe it's because he's blue. Maybe it's because he's blue though, so it just sticks out more with CGI.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, like you find out she's
Oh,
now in the X-Men universe because they said like, oh, the professor is gonna want to talk to you,
oh yeah.
right?
And I'm like, hell yeah.
And I think you kind of hear at the end like, "Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun."
Oh yeah. That was so
Yeah.
cool.
So
Like I was not expecting that scene
same.
entirely.
Yeah,
And
that
then
I
I sat
enjoyed.
there. Yeah. And then I sat there until the end of the credits and nothing.
Yeah, but yeah,
There's only one.
that was cool to see. Beast. So
Mhm.
now it at least explains like why we haven't heard anything about X Men like in this in its universe 616. You know
Yeah.
the main Marvel MCU universe because they just didn't exist. Like they
Right.
they just weren't there. Because you know the whole thing I was wondering to myself too was like okay if they are because they have plans to bring in the X Men, right? How are we
Oh,
gonna
of
do
course.
it?
Not
How are you gonna bring in the X Men if you're telling me they've been existing in this universe this whole time and no one's really mentioned them,
right.
right? And it also makes sense because there you if you introduce the X Men into the 616 universe, another thing you'd have to wonder is like why are people kind of racist and like so afraid of mutants when you have
Hmm.
superheroes? What makes them different from each other?
Right.
Right? Like that's
But
that would have been another question they have to deal with.
yeah. And I will say, at the end of the show, Miss Marvel, you see that Kamala is actually her powers are because she is a mutant.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Ta-da!
Cause no, because I remember at the end of Miss Marvel, she's like, Kamala, you have mutation.
Yeah. All right. I was like,
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
oh shit.
And like you hear that in the background, I was like, oh my god,
Mm,
they played the guitar.
it's so good.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun seeing the X Men now being introduced into the universe, and that also makes me more excited to see Deadpool.
I know,
It
right?
makes more sense now with
And
Deadpool, like
Wolverine.
how yeah, it makes a lot of sense now
Hmm.
how they're getting Wolverine back and how they're making bringing in Deadpool.
Oh, yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, So yeah, that definitely made me excited. But I think the movie as a whole, I I felt like it was just fine.
Movie as a whole, I thought it was fun. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it. But you're right, there are some like plot holes in there and inconsistencies, but overall, for an hour and 40-minute movie, it was pretty fun. And yeah, it'd be different if it was like, 2 hours or 2.5 hours.
that is true.
Then you'd feel like, oh, I'm just wasting my time. But yeah, it was very quick.
Yeah. So I guess should we end off this review?
Yes, let's wrap it up.
All right. Yeah. If you've seen the movie already, uh, and you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment down below and let us know what you thought about the movie. Um, Tell us what we're wrong about, what we're right about. Give us your thoughts.
Hmm.
We're not gonna talk back. We're just gonna take
We just
it.
read
Yeah. Like and subscribe or follow us on any podcast form that you use, whether it's
platforms.
platforms that you use, whether it's Spotify or Apple. We're on there.
Yeah,
And
the
follow
Google
us.
podcast is going away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they're
Oh,
moving it to YouTube.
that's weird. I haven't
I mean,
because
they did that with their music.
I used to use YouTube Music. I didn't like it though personally. It felt. I mean, at the time when I used it, it had just started, so they didn't really have much. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess we'll see how
Um,
that goes.
all
Um,
right. Yeah, they're really putting all their eggs in one basket.
you could also follow us on Instagram. We still haven't changed the name yet. It's still Three
I
Buds in a
know.
Movie.
I know.
You can follow us
Uh,
there. We'll try to post here and
yes.
there. We've both been kind of busy with our own real jobs that we haven't really had time to post on there. Especially because
Yeah, I don't.
we would try to post movie news or deaths or whatnot that happened, but we just haven't had time. So busy.
And I leave that to David.
That is true. It used to be Bonnie Pals, but he didn't do anything.
He said he would do it, but he never did.
Yeah, so I took over. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, David,
Uh,
you're in marketing, so it makes sense.
I mean, I am in marketing, but also when I'm already dealing with a bunch of other stuff from marketing, it's it's kind of like taking up
It's
most of my
good.
time.
It trains your. It's good practice for marketing.
I guess, yeah. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to talk about before we end this?
Nah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said it well.
Yeah. I guess we'll see everyone next time. Uh,
Yeah, see you on the
what's
next movie. Which
Five Nights at Freddy's?
are we doing that?
I think so.
Sure. The next one might be Five Nights at Freddy's.
Hey, it's in theaters. You can watch it in theaters, Alex, instead of getting Peacock.
Honestly, I think I might just bite the bullet and just get a month of Peacock.
Oh, I have Peacock just because they had shows on there that I was trying to watch anyway. So
That's how they get you, man.
yeah,
I'll probably just get like the $5 month one.
that's fine. That's what I do.
It's fine. Oh, see, yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, so it's all good. Yeah, I guess we're ending it here. See you guys next
Yes,
time.
we are. Catch you on the next one.
Later.
Ciao.